Sasha Andrusyk has remained at her home in central Kyiv with her husband and children. Her grandparents are currently stranded in Irpin. She joins us now. Sasha, good morning to you. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning. Can you just tell us what's the latest situation where you are for you and your family?
Hi. For me and my family, it is comparatively safe because we stay in a rather hidden patch of historic center, and it has been comparatively quiet. But for my sort of extended family, because all of my family is still in Kiev, so my parents and grandparents and aunts, etc., and my closest friends, it's very different because we are all scattered around the town. And I'm not sure if European audience knows that, but Kiev is actually one of the largest towns in Europe. I think it's equal to Berlin in size or something like that. So it means, and it's also a very hilly city. So it means that the fact that our outskirts or satellites, like smaller towns, satellites of Kiev, are being bombarded, does not necessarily mean that we hear so much of it when being in the center. So for the moment, everything functions. So unlike people in Mariupol, and I was just horrified to hear what I just heard, because I too have friends in Mariupol, and they're also there in the siege. And so unlike them, we still have everything. There are amenities, there's electricity and mobile connection, et cetera, et cetera.
I know you have elderly grandparents in Irpin. We know that has been heavily shelled. Have you heard from them? How are they?
No, we haven't heard from them for 2 days now, so it's almost 48 hours.
And when you last spoke to them, what were the conditions there?
They were in the basement of their house, and they saw a tank from a window in the basement, which had a letter V on it. So,
Sasha, I'm so sorry. It must be so difficult for you to talk about this. I know that you're under incredible pressure. Are you okay for me to keep talking to you? Yes. Are you okay to carry on?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What's life been like for you for the last week or so? What's it like day to day there at the moment?
Basically, we have had to make a very difficult decision of whether we stay or not, and we decided that we all should stay. For a number of reasons. One of them is because Kiev is guarded really well. It is like basically probably at the moment #1 safety target sort of in Ukraine. So we understand that there's a large amount of Ukrainian armed forces guarding us, sort of. And then the other thing is that, and it's actually much safer here in the center than on the roads from Kiev, because what has been happening there is horrendous, and people are just being shot at the roads, and you don't really know where the missile finds you. You know, some of my relatives were trying to escape through Vinnytsia, which is central Ukraine, and they arrived there in the evening, and in the morning they had like 8 missiles attacking the airport in Vinnytsia, which was much worse than anything they saw in Kiev in this period. So basically, for us, the decision now is that we stay, and we just try not to panic, and we try to look at statistics and try to concentrate on not yielding to the terror that Russia is trying to put upon us, you know, something like that. And we're trying to withhold it.
And Sasha, you actually have an Airbnb property, don't you, which I know people have been booking from all over the world in an attempt to try and help. How does that help you? How does that work?
Well, of course, it helps economically, because I think it started happening several days ago, and I think for the moment I have a booking of something like the next 2 months are completely booked. There are no free days, and of course it will help out a lot us. And I'm probably going to also use some of this money for volunteers working in the city. But also, of course, it's just a huge gesture, because people have been writing from literally everywhere, and complete strangers, like people, I don't know, from Salt Lake City to Ireland, to someone in Scotland who actually told me that Scotland sends love and solidarity, and that the whole Wallace family is with us. And I took it as a salute from William Wallace, you know, because This has been a big thing when I was growing up. So this is quite incredible, and we're really moved by it. And I heard in the news yesterday that I think something like circa $2 million already was wired to various Airbnb properties in Ukraine. So that's a lot, of course.
Sasha, thank you so much for talking to us this morning. We wish you and your family, particularly your grandparents, well. That's Sasha Andrusyk talking to us live from Kiev this morning.